Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Nishit Kumar, and with me is Prashant Kumar Sinha with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urges people to overcome vaccine hesitancy, appeals not to lower the guard, focus on vaccination and COVID-19 protocols. In his Mann Ki Baat program, Prime Minister says water conservation is equal to national service, urges people to focus on rainwater harvesting during this monsoon, calls upon people to encourage Olympic-bound players and cheer them on hashtag #CheerForIndia. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 96.75%. More than 32 crore 17 lakh vaccine doses administered so far. Jammu police averts major terror attack by Lashkar-e-Taiba operative. In World Archery Championship, Deepika Kumari completes hat-trick of gold medals. In women's cricket, India set a target of 202 runs before England in the first ODI at Bristol. And in Euro Cup football pre-quarter-final stage, the Netherlands to clash with Czech Republic and Belgium to take on Portugal tonight. As the nation gears up for a free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years, we advise our listeners to get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 4 simple steps. Wear a face mask. Maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing. Focus on hand and face hygiene and get vaccinated. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said India accomplished an unprecedented feat when a record number of vaccine doses were administered to over 86 lakh people in a single day. Addressing the nation through his Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio, Mr. Modi said the country achieved this feat on the 21st of June when the next phase of vaccination campaign commenced.
कोरोना के खिलाफ हम देशवासियों की लड़ाई जारी है, लेकिन इस लड़ाई में हम सब साथ मिलकर कई असाधारण मुकाम भी हासिल कर रहे हैं। अभी कुछ दिन पहले ही हमारे देश ने एक अभूतपूर्व काम किया है। 21 जून को वैक्सीन अभियान के अगले चरण की शुरुआत हुई और उसी दिन देश ने 86 लाख से ज्यादा लोगों को मुफ्त वैक्सीन लगाने का रिकॉर्ड भी बना दिया, और वो भी एक दिन में। इतनी बड़ी संख्या में भारत सरकार की तरफ से मुफ्त वैक्सीनेशन, और वो भी एक दिन में, स्वाभाविक है, इसकी चर्चा भी खूब हुई है।
Mr. Modi stressed that efforts must continue to ensure that every citizen is able to avail the safety that the vaccine provides. He encouraged people to end vaccine hesitancy. He pointed out that myriad organizations and members of civil society have come forward in many places in order to end vaccine hesitancy. The Prime Minister said someday people of villages and forest dwellers displaying their capabilities and understanding in the pandemic will become a subject of case study for the world. Cautioning against exercising any form of laxity, the Prime Minister called for focusing on vaccination and following the COVID-19 protocols.
हमारे वनवासी आदिवासी भाई बहनों ने इस कोरोना काल में किस तरह अपने सामर्थ्य और सूझबूझ का परिचय दिया। गांव के लोगों ने क्वारंटाइन सेंटर बनाए, स्थानीय जरूरतों को देखते हुए कोविड प्रोटोकॉल बनाए। गांव के लोगों ने किसी को भूखा नहीं सोने दिया, खेती का काम भी रुकने नहीं दिया। नजदीक के शहरों में दूध, सब्जियां, ये सब हर रोज पहुंचता रहे, ये भी गांव ने सुनिश्चित किया। यानी खुद को संभाला, औरों को भी संभाला। ऐसे ही हमें वैक्सीनेशन अभियान में भी करते रहना है। हमें जागरूक रहना भी है और जागरूक करना भी है। गांव में हर एक व्यक्ति को वैक्सीन लग जाए, ये हर गांव का लक्ष्य होना चाहिए।
The Prime Minister remembered Guru Prasad Mohapatra, who was the Secretary to the Government of India. Despite being admitted in the hospital for COVID, he was performing his official duties. The Prime Minister also spoke about the legendary athlete Milkha Singh, who passed away due to COVID.
वो खेल को लेकर इतना समर्पित और भावुक थे कि बीमारी में भी उन्होंने तुरंत ही इसके लिए हामी भर दी। लेकिन दुर्भाग्य से नियति को कुछ और मंजूर था। मुझे आज भी याद है, 2014 में वो सूरत आए थे। हम लोगों ने एक नाइट मैराथन का उद्घाटन किया था। उस समय उनसे जो गपशप हुई, खेलों के बारे में जो बात हुई, उससे मुझे भी बहुत प्रेरणा मिली थी। हम सब जानते हैं कि मिल्खा सिंह जी का पूरा परिवार स्पोर्ट्स को समर्पित रहा है, भारत का गौरव बढ़ाता रहा है।
Mr. Modi asked people to participate in the Road to Tokyo quiz to know about India's performances earlier and preparations for Tokyo Olympics. He said that he urged Milkha Singh to boost the morale of players who are going to Tokyo Olympics to be held from next month, but unfortunately Providence had other plans. The Prime Minister said most sportspersons hail from smaller towns and villages. He said the team going to the Tokyo Olympics has many such players whose lives are very inspiring. He mentioned the names of Praveen Jadhav, Neha Goyal, Bhavani Devi and Deepika Kumari as such players. The Prime Minister said that every player going to Tokyo has had their own share of struggles and years of toil. He said they are going not only for themselves but also for the country.
हमें जाने अनजाने में भी हमारे इन खिलाड़ियों पर दबाव नहीं बनाना है, बल्कि खुले मन से इनका साथ देना है, हर खिलाड़ी का उत्साह बढ़ाना है। सोशल मीडिया पर आप #Cheer4India के साथ अपने इन खिलाड़ियों को शुभकामनाएं दे सकते हैं। आप कुछ और भी इनोवेटिव करना चाहें तो वो भी जरूर करें। अगर आपको कोई ऐसा आइडिया आता है जो हमारे खिलाड़ियों के लिए देश को मिलकर करना चाहिए तो वो आप मुझे जरूर भेजिएगा। हम सब मिलकर टोक्यो जाने वाले अपने खिलाड़ियों को सपोर्ट करेंगे। Cheer4India, Cheer4India, Cheer4India।
The Prime Minister said he considers water conservation as a form of service to the country. He asked people to focus on rainwater harvesting amid ongoing monsoon.
मेरे प्यारे देशवासियों, हमारे देश में अब मानसून का सीजन भी आ गया है। बादल जब बरसते हैं तो केवल हमारे लिए नहीं बरसते, बल्कि बादल आने वाली पीढ़ियों के लिए भी बरसते हैं। बारिश का पानी जमीन में जाकर इकट्ठा भी होता है, जमीन के जल स्तर को भी सुधारता है और इसलिए मैं जल संरक्षण को देश सेवा का ही एक रूप मानता हूँ। आपने भी देखा होगा, हम में से कई लोग इस पुण्य को अपनी जिम्मेदारी मानकर लगे रहे हैं।
Mr. Modi said country celebrates National Doctors' Day on the 1st of July. This day is dedicated to the birth anniversary of the great doctor and statesman Dr. B.C. Roy. Mr. Modi expressed gratitude for the contribution of doctors in the corona period. The Prime Minister said there is an interesting quiz based on today's Mann Ki Baat episode in the Namo app. In a tweet, Mr. Modi urged everyone to take part in it. The Prime Minister today spoke to the people in Dularia village of Betul district of Madhya Pradesh in the Mann Ki Baat program. He appealed them to get vaccinated and not to pay attention to rumours. More from our correspondent.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to Rajesh Hirave and Kishori Lal Dhurve of Dularia village of Betul in Mann Ki Baat program. Shri Modi inspired to villagers to get vaccine.
मेरा आपको भी और मेरे सभी गांव के भाई बहनों को यही कहना है कि डर है तो निकाल दीजिए। हमारे पूरे देश में 31 करोड़ से भी ज्यादा लोगों ने वैक्सीन का टीका लगवा लिया है।
जी
आपको पता है ना, मैंने खुद ने भी दोनों डोज लगवा लिए हैं। अरे मेरी माँ तो करीब 100 साल की है, उन्होंने भी दोनों डोज लगवा लिए। कभी कभी किसी को इससे बुखार वगैरह आता है और वो बहुत मामूली होता है, कुछ घंटों के लिए ही होता है। देखिए, वैक्सीन नहीं लेना बहुत खतरनाक हो सकता है। इससे आप खुद को तो खतरे में डालते ही हैं, साथ ही में परिवार और गांव को भी खतरे में डाल सकते हैं।
After talking to the Prime Minister, the confidence of Rajesh Hirave and Kishori Lal has increased. They have resolved to get the vaccine themselves and make others aware.
आगे बताएंगे भी, सबसे चौपाल चर्चा करेंगे, सबको कहेंगे, समझाएंगे, उसके बाद खुद भी लगाएंगे, हम औरों को लगवाएंगे।
Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has also thanked to Prime Minister through a tweet. He said that 126 people of Dularia village have been vaccinated and soon the rest of the villagers would be vaccinated. Rashid Ahmed Khan, All India Radio News, Bhopal.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has mentioned the name of Vian village of district Bandipora of Kashmir for achieving the milestone of 100% vaccination above the age of 18 years in today's episode of Mann Ki Baat. In his address to the nation, the Prime Minister appreciated the health workers of the district and complimented them for achieving the 100% target. India has administered over 64,25,000 vaccine doses to people across the country in the past 24 hours. With this, more than 32 crore 17 lakh vaccine doses have been administered under the nationwide vaccination drive. 50,040 new cases of COVID-19 were reported in the past 24 hours. A total of 57,944 patients also recovered from the infection during the last 24 hours, taking the total recoveries to more than 2 crore 92 lakh 51,000. The recovery rate has now increased to 96.75%. In the past 24 hours, 1,258 deaths were also reported in the country. As Delhi is witnessing decline in COVID-19 cases, the Delhi government has decided to further relax restrictions imposed due to the rise in COVID cases in the national capital. As part of further opening up of activities, gyms and yoga institutes have been permitted to open. The new relaxation will come into effect from 5 a.m. tomorrow. More on this from our correspondent.
COVID situation in Delhi has significantly improved in the last few weeks due to continuous decline in coronavirus cases. In view of this, Delhi Disaster Management Authority had decided to permit few activities. Gyms and yoga institutes have been allowed to function with 50% capacity. Ceiling on the number of guests in the marriage function has also been raised from 20 to 50. Owners of banquet halls, marriage halls, hotels, gyms and yoga institutes shall be responsible for ensuring strict compliances of COVID-appropriate behavior. However, school, colleges and other educational institutions will remain closed. All social, political, cultural and religious activities will be prohibited. Cinema halls, theatres, multiplexes, entertainment parks, spas, assembly halls and auditoriums are not allowed to open. All these restrictions and prohibitions in the national capital will continue till 5th July of next month. Bhupendra Singh, AIR News, Delhi.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urges people to overcome vaccine hesitancy, appeals not to lower the guard, focus on vaccination and on COVID-19 protocols. In his Mann Ki Baat program, Prime Minister says water conservation is equal to national service, urges people to focus on rainwater harvesting during this monsoon. Calls upon people to encourage Olympic-bound players and cheer them on #CheerForIndia. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 96.75%, more than 32 crore 17 lakh vaccine doses administered so far. Jammu Police averts major terror attack by Lashkar-e-Toiba operative. In World Archery Championship, Deepika Kumari completes hat-trick of gold medals. In women's cricket, India set a target of 202 runs before England in the first ODI at Bristol. In Eurocup football pre-quarter-final stage, the Netherlands to clash with the Czech Republic and Belgium to take on Portugal tonight. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
The centre is disseminating awareness of national helpline numbers for the benefit of citizens during the COVID-19 pandemic. The helpline number of the Health and Family Welfare Ministry is 1075. The child helpline number is 1098. For senior citizens of Delhi, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, the helpline number is 14567. The helpline number of National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, NIMHANS, for psychological support is 08046110007. Ayush COVID-19 Counselling Helpline number is 14443 and MyGov WhatsApp Help Desk number is 9013151515.
Welcome back to the evening news. The Jammu police averted a major terror attack and recovered an improvised explosive device IED which was to be used to target a crowded area by an operative of terror outfit Lashkar-e-Toiba LET. According to Director General of Police Dilbag Singh, this IED was received by LAT outfit operative and was to be planted at some crowded place. He said the suspect is being interrogated. More suspects are likely to be picked up in this foil IED blast attempt. The recovery of such a huge cache of explosive material has averted a major terror attack in Jammu, which was earlier today rocked by a drone attack. Two explosions within a gap of few minutes rocked the Air Force Station at Jammu around 1:45 a.m. today. The area was sealed off by security forces within minutes. Senior officials, police and forensic experts rushed to the scene. According to a defense spokesperson, there is no injury to any personnel or any damage to any equipment. Experts belonging to the National Investigation Agency NIA visited the technical area of Jammu Air Force Station for investigations. Indian Air Force Air Chief Marshal R.K.S. Bhadauria today spoke to two IAF personnel who suffered minor injuries in the explosion in Jammu. The Air Force Chief is on a visit to Bangladesh and telephoned from there. The two soldiers are under observation and are doing fine.
Foreign investors pumped in over 15,000 crore rupees into the Indian equity market so far in June. This comes after 2 months of continuous net withdrawals by overseas investors. Foreign investors pumped in 15,282 crore rupees into equities between the 1st of June and the 25th of June period, but withdrew 2,568 crore rupees from the debt segment, taking the total net inflow to 12,714 crore rupees during the period under review. In archery, India's Deepika Kumari defeated Russia's Elena Osipova 6-0 in the final of the women's individual recurve event to complete a hat-trick of gold medals in one day at the World Cup Stage 3 in Paris today. She was also part of the mixed recurve event and women's recurve team winning gold today. In the mixed recurve team event, husband-wife duo Atanu Das and Deepika Kumari bagged gold. Atanu and Deepika combined well to score a 5-3 win over the Netherlands.
In women's cricket, chasing the target of 202 runs set by India Eves, England were 121 for 2 in 23.5 overs in the first ODI of the three-match series at the county ground in Bristol when reports last came in. India scored 201 runs for the loss of 8 wickets and stipulated 50 overs. For India, skipper Mithali Raj was the highest scorer with 72 runs. Earlier, England won the toss and chose to field. In the Euro Cup football, Netherlands will clash with the Czech Republic in the pre-quarter-final stage at 9:30 tonight. The match will be played at the Ferenc Puskás Stadium in Budapest. In the other encounter later tonight, contenders Belgium will take on defending champions Portugal in the round of 16. The game will be played at the Estadio de la Cartuja in Seville and will kick off at 12:30 a.m. IST.
In the Euro Cup football, Netherlands will clash with the Czech Republic in the pre-quarter-final stage at 9:30 tonight. The match will be played at the Ferenc Puskás Stadium in Budapest.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urges people to overcome vaccine hesitancy. Appeals not to lower the guard, focus on vaccination and COVID-19 protocols. In his Mann Ki Baat program, Prime Minister says water conservation is equal to national service, urges people to focus on rainwater harvesting during this monsoon. Calls upon people to encourage Olympic-bound players and cheer them on #CheerForIndia. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 96.75%, more than 32 crore 17 lakh vaccine doses administered so far. Jammu Police averts major terror attack by Lashkar-e-Taiba operative in the World Archery Championship. Deepika Kumari completes hat-trick of gold medals. In women's cricket, India set a target of 202 runs before England in the first ODI at Bristol. And in Euro Cup football pre-quarter-final stage, the Netherlands to clash with Czech Republic and Belgium to take on Portugal tonight. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.